Hello, I'm Hal Flickinger from the Society for the Preservation of Military History, and this will be a video where we're talking to Kevin Lynch, who's a member and also a lecturer, and we're going to be talking about his upcoming lecture on December 12th about the Battle of Trenton. So he's just agreed to meet with me today to go through and answer a couple of questions that I have for him, and we'll just go from here. Kev, first of all, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yep. I just thought it would be good to give a little bit of background or overview about what the lecture is going to cover.
Okay. Well, the lecture is primarily going to cover the Battle of Trenton, Washington's crossing of the Delaware River, and the importance and significance of this battle had on the American Revolution. When one looks at it, it's a relatively small campaign, numbers-wise, between about 2,500 troops on the American side to 1,500 on the German Hessian side, but it's very important and significant at the time when it occurred and what followed on after the battle.
All right. Why Trenton? Why did you feel like you wanted to cover this? But besides being the month of December, why did you feel like you wanted to cover that particular battle?
One, it's something that we don't really talk about. We don't get too much into the Revolutionary history. Secondly, there's a very romanticized version of the Battle of Trenton based on the painting of Washington crossing.
You want to go into that a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. It's this is a cover of the book that I used for my research, and that covers the painting, which is in the New York Museum of Metropolitan Art. But it's it was basically part of the Revolutionary War, romanticizing what happened, what occurred with the battle, and there's a lot more to it. And when you look at it in terms of tactics, in terms of what actually happened, there's a lot of misconceptions with what occurred on the Battle of Trenton.
Oh, okay. All right. Obviously, Washington plays a key role in this particular battle. As a military commander, I know that there's been a lot of different positions and theories on him as an actual military tactician commander. Where do you fall into that?
Kind of in the middle. He had some great successes. He also had some great failures. And as any good military commander, he had a lot of great luck that helped him in certain cases. I believe one of his biggest strengths with his just leadership ability is ability to command an army and kind of keep it under control. There were several times when the military could have folded and a lesser general may not have been able to command them. But his power, his presence, helped keep the American army together, even though they weren't winning battles like he thought they would be winning.
So as a tactician, kind of all over the road a little bit, but we as historians tend to look from this perspective,
right.
But a lot of times we miss the soldier to leader perspective. So,
and I think a lot of that is, some people say that he wasn't the best general. He made a lot of mistakes, and sure he did, but he just had that leadership ability where men would follow him no matter what. So that's, I think, what helped him a lot of the times. He would give an order, and it may not have been the best one, but they were going to follow him to the end to try to succeed. Okay, so let's talk about one of his decisions now. The decision to actually attack Trenton in a snowstorm. Yeah.
Why did he decide at that moment?
Well, the snowstorm he wasn't planning on, but he had figured the enlistments were about to run out at the end of the year, so he had to do something to keep the men around. Otherwise, they were just going to go home. They had been defeated in Long Island and New York City, their major city that they had lost. So he needed to do something. And then there was a small garrison of Hessians at Trenton that he figured he could attack them on Christmas by using the element of surprise, which is a very smart thing. He had a plan to cross the river and then attack in the evening on Christmas, the day after Christmas, so cross on Christmas evening.
Now, I've had a conversation with you about this before, about saving the revolution in the Battle of Trenton. You want to, without giving away too much, describe that for me.
Well, the fact that they had very few casualties, and then they also took the victory at Trenton and used it in the Battle of Princeton a few days later against Cornwallis. That kind of helped propel them through the winter and then get them prepared for the spring campaign. It just kind of kept them going. A lot of the soldiers re-enlisted based on these two successes. So, part of Washington's leadership. So I think that's a great testament to that.
So the impact on the outcome of the revolution, without giving too much away again, turning point? No.
You know, I would say at that time they probably didn't consider it a turning point, but when you look back at it, it was definitely up there with probably the Battle of Saratoga as a couple of the turning points. It kept the American Army intact. It didn't bring any foreign countries into it like the Battle of Saratoga did.
Okay, right.
But it told the British that the Americans weren't going to go away, and this was going to be a fight.
All right, great. Thanks for coming, Kev.
Thanks for having me.
I would really encourage you, if you get an opportunity, to come out Thursday, December 12th at 6:30 at the North Syracuse Public Library. You're in for a real treat and an outstanding time. So thanks again, and hope to see you there.
Yep, hope to see you there.
Okay.